Welcome back, students. We are discussing about the chapter 3, that is the Ishwaran, the storyteller of class 9, and this is our last part or the final part. So we'll enter into the text and we will conclude these chapters today. So see, by the time he had got up in the morning, had a bath and come out to have his breakfast. The horror of the previous nights had faded from his memory. Ishwaran greeted him at the door with his lunch packets and his bag. Just as Mahendra was stepping out, Ishwaran grinned and said, "Sir, remember the other day when I was telling you about the female ghost with a fetus in its arms? You were so angry with me for imagining things. Well, you saw her yourselves last night. I came running, hearing the sound of mourning that was coming from your room." So dear children, grin, G-R-I-N-N-E-D, grin means what? That is smile broadly. And resolving means deciding. That means Mahendra has decided here something to do, to take a new step that we shall see here. And haunted place, that is the place that is visited by the ghost. That means often or usually the ghost visit the place. That place is called here the haunted place. So then what happens here? By the time Mahendra woke up from his bed in the morning, took up his bath and came out for breakfast, he had forgotten the ghostly experience of the previous night. Ishwaran greeted him, gave him his lunch and his bag. As Mahendra was about to leave, Ishwaran smiled and said that the other day Mahendra had scolded him for discussing the ugly ghost, but last night Mahendra himself saw it. Ishwaran had heard that a child, a child. So see what happened. So Mahendra himself saw it, and Ishwaran had heard Mahendra's cries the previous night. So this is what. So one day, Ishwaran was narrating about the ghost to his master Mahendra, and Mahendra was very much fired at Ishwaran because he disliked the story, ghost story. That means he disliked means he was afraid of that, and it is because of that only he was very much fired upon his helper Ishwaran. But what happened one day? He saw the same scene one night, and some sound was coming from his room. And at the time, but what happened you see here, the master Mahendra had forgotten that already. But the next morning when he was ready for his work, with his lunch box, at the time Ishwaran reminded him the other day that he was scolded by him one day. It is because of the ghost story, and last night and the previous night what had happened, that he reminded him here. With that, Mahendra was frightened very much. Understood that what happened you see here? Ishwaran had heard Mahendra's cries the previous night. And what happened? A chill went down Mahendra's spine. He did not wait for Ishwaran to complete his sentence, and he hurried away to his office and handed in his paper, resolving to leave the haunted place the very next day. Then what happened you see here? Spine means here backbone, we have to understand. Resolving means deciding, that means Mahendra has decided something to do, to take a new step, that is to be seen here. Handed his papers, that means resign. So Ishwaran's comment scared Mahendra once again. He was a little frightened from the before, from the previous night. Again, when they commented that back by Ishwaran, that also scared him a lot, frightened him a lot. He did not hear him further and hurried up to his office. He decided to resign from the job and leave the haunted place. He could not live there any longer. So this is what about the story, Ishwaran the storyteller. So children, now we shall move towards the summary. So what about the summary will be there here you see. Ishwaran's story was told to Ganesh by Mahendra, who worked as a junior supervisors at different construction sites. So as Mahendra was unmarried, he was able to live in the temporary shelters provided by the construction company. Okay. Ishwaran accompanied Mahendra whenever he went. He was an advantage to him as he provided him company, cooked food for him, and even washed his clothes also there. So Mahendra says that Ishwaran would gather all the things required to prepare a meal within no time. Every morning, Mahendra would get ready, eat his breakfast, take his lunch alone, and go for his work. So in the meantime, Ishwaran would clean the living place, wash the clothes, take a bath, eat his lunch, read his favorite Tamil storybook, and take a nap. Nap means here doze, jhabke lagana. So in the evening, Ishwaran would entertain Mahendra with these stories. He had the art of storytelling, as he would use his body gestures, facial expressions, and voice modulation in order to bring his characters to life. Even though the stories seems untrue, Ishwaran narrated them in such a unique way that Mahendra listens to him with curiosity. Ishwaran would start the story with the introductions. He would lay the background of the character, and you see, followed by the story. He described a simple incident in such a detail, along with actions, that it would create suspense in the listener's mind. And what happened, you see, once he told Mahendra the story of an elephant that had escaped from the jungle and entered to the town. The beast reached Ishwaran's school. As it destroyed the school's property, all the students locked themselves up in the classroom. At the time, Ishwaran was studying in one of the junior classes. He was watching the incident from the rooftop. He took a stick from the teachers and came downstairs in the ground. Okay? He walked towards the elephants as it threatened to attack him. Ishwaran was not scared of it. And you see, he gathered all his strength and hit the elephant on its toenail quickly. Toenail, that is the nail of the toe. That is called what the toenail. Remember this, okay? This attack stunned the elephant. It panted and fell on the ground. He did not complete the story and said that he was getting late for the dinner. And he went to get the dinner, but Mahendra was curious to know what happened next. As Ishwaran did not continue with the story, okay, so Mahendra had to remind him that the ending was pending. Then Ishwaran said that a veterinary doctor was called, okay, and he brought the elephant back to consciousness. And after 2 days, a Mahat was called to took the elephant back to the jungle. Okay. Took the elephant back to the jungle. Then what happened? You see, Mahendra asked Ishwaran that how did he manage to overpower the huge beast? Ishwaran replied that he used the techniques of Japanese martial art, which was either karate or jujitsu. He had read about it somewhere. And what happened, you see, that the martial art was able to make a person's unconscious by paralyzing the nervous systems. So every day Ishwaran would narrate one or the other story which was entertaining for him and fulfill the actions of the televisions in his living quarter. So what happened, you see, one morning Ishwaran asked permissions to cook a special dinner, as it was the day when the cooked meal for the dead elders of the family. That evening, Mahendra enjoyed a tasty meal and complimented Ishwaran on his cooking skills. Then what happened? See, as Mahendra was relaxing after the meal, to his dislike, Ishwaran started narrating a story related to ghosts and supernatural powers. He said that the factory area where they lived was earlier a burial ground. The very first day he had seen a human skull lying around. He added that he was not afraid of ghosts and saw many bones and skulls. On a full moon night, he saw an ugly ghost of a woman who had a shrunken face, and that is what matted hair, and had an unborn baby in its arm. Okay, then what happened? Mahendra was uneasy and scolded Ishwaran for talking nonsense. He said that ghosts did not exist and ordered him to get himself examined, as he thought that he had gone mad. Since that day, what happened, you see here, Mahendra woke up from his sleep as he heard someone crying at first, and he checked the presence of any ghost around. One night, then what happened, you see here, Mahendra woke up from his sleep as he heard someone crying at him. First understood, and he thought that it was that is what cat looking for mice. As the sound became more harsh and deep, then what happened is Mahendra could not ignore it and gave into the desire of peeping out of the window. Then what happened as he looked out, he saw the white moonlight and the dark shadow holding a bundle in its arms. As he saw the ghost, he started sweating and breathing heavily and fell back on the bed. And what happened is, after some time, Mahendra thought that probably his subconscious mind was playing a trick on him. And actually, there was no ghost. He got ready the next morning and he had forgotten the incident of the previous night. And what happened Ishwaran greeted him and gave him his lunch bag. He said that a few days ago Mahendra had scolded him for discussing the ghost, but last night he saw it himself. Ishwaran had heard Mahendra crying at night. It was confirmed that Mahendra had seen the ghost the previous night, and it was not a day played by his mind. Once again, Mahendra was frightened. He left in a hurry and resigned from the job. He could not live at that haunted place for a single day. So, dear children, this is what happened in the story. Ishwaran the storyteller. So we have completed these chapters in 3 pages or 3 volumes, and this was our last volumes, and today the story is finished. I hope it will help you a lot.
हाय फ्रेंड्स, ऐसे नए वीडियो देखने के लिए हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें।